Hi everyone, so it's that time of year. We are coming to the close of 2019 and I can't believe how fast this year has gone. I just feel like my life is just like, one day I'll wake up and I'll be 50. At the end of the year, I do like to do kind of roundup videos. So I'm gonna start filming a couple and I feel like I'm having a good makeup day today. I'm wearing these cute little Christmas beetle earrings that I picked up at a market recently from Molly Coombs Marr. She's a local designer and these are so cute. You know, I like to support local businesses, so most of the time you guys ask me where I buy my earrings from. Local shops, local places, local markets. That's my favorite place to pick up earrings. But anyway, we are gonna do a roundup kind of video. My best and worst makeup purchases for 2019. I did one last year and you guys seem to enjoy it, so we're gonna do it again this year. Shall we start with best or worst? Let's start with worst, because then we can end things on a good note. First thing I want to talk about, and this is not in really any particular order, because they're all, I would say, all pretty bad in general. I mean, obviously the more you spend, the harder it is to digest. Let's talk about the Pat McGrath brushes. So earlier this year, Pat McGrath released some foundations and primers, and she's releasing things all the time, so it's really hard to keep up sometimes. And I haven't been buying everything from her. The brushes that she came out with for the release are absolute trash, and I should have known, because every single brush that she's released so far has been terrible. I think this is, I don't know, $70. It is not worth the $70. Please do not waste $70 on a brush like this. You can actually buy like a handmade Japanese brush for that amount of money. That would be way better than this. I'm pretty sure this was made in China. It feels cheap. The bristles feel like plasticky. With that launch, she also released this brush. And again, it's just such bad quality for the price. These are not worth it. I just feel like Pat McGrath, she has some amazing products and then she has some really bad ones too. Like the spectrum, the variance is just really wide, and these are not worth it at all. I really wish I hadn't wasted my money on these because they're terrible. I could have picked up like a Sonia G brush instead, and that would have been a better purchasing decision. Not good, don't recommend. And don't recommend any of her brushes. Like, I've decluttered her highlighting brush as well. It was just really plasticky, harsh, and just, it wasn't a good brush in general. It wasn't very functional, so got rid of that. And look, if my son picked these up and started like playing with them and ruining them, I'd be okay with it, but I wish I hadn't purchased this in the first place. One of my subscribers actually suggested with like old makeup sponges and old brushes that you don't want to use, they're really good for kids art, and I think that's such a great idea. So if I end up decluttering any brushes, I'll probably just give them to the kids to play with. I'm looking down here because I've got a list, and I wrote this list quite a while ago because I had been planning to film this video for a while. The next one on my list of worst things is actually this Rouge Dior lipstick, and it's in the shade 523 Ultra Rush. I talked about this in a video previously, and this looks very like a pastel orange on me. It looks very strange. I don't think it looks really great on me at full opacity, and it does take quite a bit to build this up, although it does swatch nicely. On the lips, I feel like I need to build this up quite a bit. To me, I feel like this looks better as like a stain, like if I was to pat it on, it was like a stain. But for the price, I think this is about maybe $60 in Australia. For a $60 product to come out like this, I just don't think is a great thing, especially because I wanted it for the color. But I feel like on me, on my lips and my coloring, it just doesn't flatter unless I wear it a bit more toned down. I have other bright oranges that I absolutely loved. I feel like it's the undertone, it's just too white and bright. I wish it was just a little bit deeper and richer. I think that would have just looked a bit more flattering on the skin. And also, I don't find the Dior formula to be particularly nice. Like, I think for the price, you can get a lot better. They also are slightly scented of that, like, I don't know, traditional lipstick smell, and not a fan. Next one on my list, I've also spoken briefly about this before. This is the Kosas Tinted Face Oil. I don't like this. I think this was quite expensive as well. Again, all expensive products makes it worse when they don't work out. I bought this on the recommendation of, I think Tati said it was awesome, and Raw Paint, they both liked it. And I had also read up on a few blogs. I can't remember the name, but a couple of beauty bloggers that I Googled also like this. For me, Kosas has, I feel like the majority of their products I have actually enjoyed, but this is not one of them. Even though I am someone that does enjoy kind of sheerer foundations, more of a minimal aesthetic, I don't feel like this works very well. I feel like it doesn't really last on my skin. Even though I have dry skin, I do have a little bit of redness around my nose and some uneven skin tone, but after the end of the day, it just, where is it? It's gone. And there are sheer formulations that I find, even though they still have a sheer coverage, do last, and this just doesn't. I guess this is more like skincare type of a foundation. So if you're maybe someone that really doesn't like to wear any makeup and just wants something with a bit of a tint and doesn't really mind if it disappears and doesn't mind that they look like they're not wearing anything, then maybe, I don't know. I don't think this works very well for me, and I don't know, I feel like maybe I'll put it in a future project pan. Maybe it will make me experiment a little bit with this to try and make it work a bit better, because I feel like in my project pan, and I do need to do the finale soon, there are products that I've hated so much that I've just been like, you're not in the project anymore, I can't stand you. But there are other products that I actually initially disliked and then found a way to make it work, and then ended up really enjoying the product, and maybe I can try and make this work in some way, but on its own, in my current routine, it doesn't. So I don't like this. Actually, let's look up the price. They do sell this in Mecca. A lot of you guys have told me, so you can actually go and swatch it in store if you want. This is $64. So it's not cheap. It's not the most expensive foundation. Like, it's not Pat McGrath expensive, but yeah, it's not cheap. $64. Fourth product is this one. This is the Super Goop Setting Powder, and it comes in a brush form like this. Kind of twist it up and down. Oh, there are issues with the packaging, and it's supposed to kind of be like a way to touch up your sunscreen, maybe when you've got makeup already like I have now, a bit more easily. The thing I find about this particular product, and I was very curious because I feel like the concept of this is awesome, but I haven't found one that really works. And this just doesn't, can you see that? Just go all over my black pants, but anyway, this just doesn't distribute powder very well. It's very uneven, and that's what annoys me, and you sometimes don't know even if you've got any out of the brush. So the product is down here, and I feel like there's quite a lot still here, so I feel like when I've used it, it just hasn't really come out of the product, and to actually get it out, you really need to kind of use aggressive arm movements. I'll give you an example. See, I'm doing this, and nothing's coming out. If I do this a little bit more harshly, I can sort of see powder coming out, but who's going to be doing that to their face? And I think maybe you need to tilt your face up a little. I don't know. I just find that this does not work, and it's just so poorly made. Like, it's just, to get the brush in and out, it's not good. The brush itself, I mean, the bristles itself, it's not the best quality. It's cheap. It's cheaply made, and this doesn't really stay on very well, this lid. How much is this? It's $30 US. How much did I pay for it? I think I bought it on Revolve, and I purchased it for $48. Expensive for how much you get. What was I thinking? You get 4.4 mLs, 0.15 ounces. It's got a rating on Revolve of 4.8. I don't know. I feel like some might be fake reviews because it's gotten really bad reviews everywhere else, it seems. Makeup Alley 2.6. The concept is good, the execution is really bad. It definitely settles weirdly on my skin. I'm not even sure if it disperses evenly, and yeah, it's definitely up there with one of the worst purchases I've made this year. Not good, do not recommend. I feel like it might just be better to put this into a jar, like a loose powder jar, like something like this. Take a travel brush and just apply it like that, because this does not work. Not impressed at all. Okay, last product I want to talk about is, this is actually a stack from Melt. This is the Blueprint stack, and I feel like no one really talked about this stack because it was kind of like, I don't know, a bit of a strange release. I mean, I guess blue has been trending this year, and so this is kind of in line with the blue trend, but I don't know, I feel like Melt is one of those brands, their formula is very hit and miss between stacks, between palettes. They're not consistent. I've realized I don't really like Melt shimmers all that much, but they're not really good. Like, can you see how sheer that looks? Yeah, I'm just not being very impressed. And so I used to be one of those people that would purchase the majority of what Melt was releasing, but now I don't really, because the quality can be so hit and miss, and I'd rather just kind of wait until other people kind of talk about what they think about it before buying it. So this is a very much a hit and miss kind of stack. I think the split pans is kind of clever, but aesthetically, I don't really like the look of them. And I mean, the stacks in general, I've come to realize are quite an inconvenient way to take out a palette and use it. And I think that prevents a lot of people from actually using their stacks, is because they're not the most easy to kind of store and take out and use. And so often the time you kind of ends up sitting there looking sad. That's not the blue that I'm wearing today, by the way. I'm wearing this Smith & Colt Glitterbaby, which I love these. These are stunning, beautiful. I think that's kind of one of the easiest ways, in fact, to add eyeshadow. And lately, I've actually really been enjoying liquid eyeshadows, but I will get onto that a bit later. But yeah, just not super impressed with this. It's probably one of the worst stacks that Melt has. I don't have all of them, but of the ones I have, yeah, I really just don't enjoy this. And I just feel like, yeah, it feels really cheap as well. I feel like over the years, the packaging has just gotten a little bit more cheap feeling, and these are not cheap either in price. Melt is a fairly pricey brand, especially when you take into consideration the exchange rate for an Aussie. Okay, let's talk about the good things. To turn this frown upside down, let's start off with the Ella sponges. This is a dirty one. I talked about this in my Ella Cosmetics brand review, where I talked about a whole bunch of their products. I love these sponges. These are so awesome. I've got quite a few of them ready, and they have sent this to me in PR. I actually want to give away one of these to one of you guys so you can try them and realize how awesome they are, because they really are great sponges, and they're my favorite product from Ella Cosmetics. Really love these sponges. I don't buy beauty blenders anymore. In general, I don't use sponges as much as I used to, but these are so good. They're so soft. They expand to a really nice size. Again, check out my review because I talk all about them, rave all about them. Also, Ella Cosmetics is an indie Aussie brand, so yay, let's support these Aussie companies. Okay, let's talk about a game changer for me and what I realized I really enjoy in a makeup product. This is the Kosas 10-second eyeshadow. I have tried a number of liquid eyeshadows in the past. I haven't really enjoyed them, but I really enjoyed this one. This is a strange one for me. I first saw Serene Wu use this and I loved the color on her, and this is actually a really gorgeous color. For me, this is like a one and done color, and what I love about this is that it looks gorgeous on the eyes, but it also wears pretty well for me, and I do have tons of texture on my eyelids. And it's just so effortless. Like, I just put that onto my eyelid, blend it out, and it's one and done. Walk out the door, looks stunning. And it's also not a liquid eyeshadow that has a ton of like glitter. It's more of that kind of satin sheen. It does look very flattering on the eyes. And I think as people get older and they get more texture on eyelids, this looks really nice. Sometimes I don't want a super, super metallic eye. I was very, very tempted, let me tell you, to buy all the shades. But for me, this is the perfect shade, and I don't really need any other shades from this formula. And because they're liquid, obviously they're not gonna last as long. So I have been wearing this quite frequently on days where I just want easy makeup. And as I get older, look, I'm not that old, but as I get older, I like easy makeup. I like things that come in stick form. I like liquid shadows that I can just put on my eyelids, blend out with my finger. Like, this is such an easy product for me, and this is what I have been looking for in a liquid eyeshadow. I do like the Still Glitter and Go, but I don't want to wear glitter every day on my eyes. Like, to me, this is work appropriate as well, so I do like it for that purpose, and I have been wearing it quite frequently. The shade is Globe. I don't think I've mentioned it, but the shade is Globe. It is gorgeous, and I think it goes really well with my skin tone, and it probably would work for a variety of skin tones as well. It does allow you to kind of move it around a bit, but then once it's dried, it pretty much stays there. And it does fade away quite, like, it doesn't look all creasy and disgusting like after some liquid shadows do. It just kind of, I don't know, it does fade a little, but it doesn't fade in an ugly way. So I like it. I really like it. I feel like it works really well for me for lazy makeup days, like I said. So if you're looking to try this out, swatch it in store because they're available in Mecca. Next thing I want to talk about are these brushes from Sonia G. This is the Pro Eye Set. She first came out with this one earlier this year, and they are awesome. I love the design of these. I love that the Pro Set has this tapered handle, because the normal ones, they have this chunky one. And when you're storing things in like something like this, these take up a lot of room. So I like this because it actually just helps save space. And Sonia G brushes are lovely. They're really lovely. I actually like them more than I like my Wayne Goss eye set. I love the shapes. You can tell she's someone that has a love and appreciation of makeup brushes because they're so kind of thoughtfully designed and they are very functional. I don't usually buy brush sets, but I do like the shapes of all these brushes. So it is rare for me to buy a brush set. She does sell them individually. So if you're one of those people that wants a specific shape, you've got that option. I think that's great. Although you don't get a saving from actually buying this as a set. The shapes are what I've been craving in makeup brushes for a long time. I love that these can also be used for different things. Even though this is a crease brush, I feel like because of the shape, it's also really great for kind of adding eyeshadow in and then blending it out. You've got this wonderful Pencil Pro, and this one is rounded, but it also has a little bit of a precise tip. I like it. I really like it. This is a great shader brush. It's called the Builder Pro, and I also like the names of it as well. We have this Worker Pro, which you can tell I've been using because it's dirty. And then we've got the Blender Pro. Now in terms of what they're made of, I believe these are all goat hair brushes. She used to do squirrel hair brushes, but now I've noticed that she's changed some of them from squirrel to goat hair. I'm not sure the reason why, maybe pricing reasons. So these aren't as soft as obviously some of the other brushes I have, but they're still they're still pretty soft. Pretty damn soft. So they're just really great brushes. I must say I'm very tempted to get the, I think it's the, what is it called? The eye set, the other set. I'm very tempted to get the eye set, although it's sold out already. So, you know, it makes it an easy decision for me because it comes in that gorgeous blue lacquer. I'm really happy with the ones I have. And although they are pricey, $150 US, it's a lot. A lot, but they're really, really well made. Some of the best brushes I have. Because I get so much use out of them and cost per wear, I do think that it was worth the price for me. If you do want to see them in action, check out any of my tutorials because you'll see me using them in them. Okay, so last two things are lipsticks. Besides eyeshadows, love lipsticks. One of them is from Lisa Eldridge and it is Skyscraper Rose. This is such a stunning color. It's really gorgeous. I don't have anything quite like this shade. I have done a dupe video and there are shades that are somewhat similar, but nothing exactly in this exact pink. It's gorgeous. It's got a beautiful depth to it. It's very, very flattering. I once wore this on the lips, the cheeks and the eyes, and I got complimented on it when I went to my obstetrician appointment, like before I had Max. I feel like every time I wear this, I get a lot of compliments on it because it's such a fun, punchy color. It's a real statement color, and I think it's perfect for like if you want to just perk up your spirits. I like to wear bright colors in winter, you know, when it's cold and miserable out. You want to wear a gorgeous color like this. I did a swatch video on it, and I'll leave it in the cards if you want to see this. Did actually get the new velvets. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a video because I feel like everyone and their dog has made a video on this, so I'm not sure. I feel like, you know, I don't know if you want to hear my 2 cents. I think it's been swatched in so many different skin tones that if you were looking to buy it, you would have already bought it. Of all the lipsticks that she's released so far, I think this is probably my favorite color. And last but not least, another lipstick. Can you guess which one? It's the Suqqu one in 12 Kinichu. It's in the Moisture Rich lipstick. This is the lipstick that is in my handbag at all times. It's just great for like throwing on a lip, but adding a fun punch of color without having to think too much about it. And very rarely, I feel like, are oranges shades that you feel like are effortless or you can throw it without worrying about it. This is kind of like an alternative nude for me. I feel like I can throw it on with a lot of looks that I wear. It complements my hair. It's a shade that I don't have to worry about touching up all the time like some oranges. Because of the formula, it's that very kind of nourishing formula. And again, it's one that you can build up. So you can wear it super sheer, or you can wear it really built up and have that really stunning orange kind of show through. Definitely my hands down favorite lipstick that they've ever released. I honestly wish this was permanent because it's really, really beautiful. And I love this formula. It's really nice because it's that balmy, moisturizing lip formula that, you know, especially in winter and my lips get really dry, hay fever season, my lips get really dry. This doesn't emphasize lines. This doesn't make my lips feel really like thirsty. This is really nice and moisturizing. That is why it is my favorite. It's probably my favorite purchase I've made this whole year. So there you have it. Those are my top 5, bottom 5 things that I've purchased this year. Let me know in the comments below, what are your best and worst purchases that you've made this year? Did you have lots of lipsticks as well in yours? I don't know. Obviously the year hasn't quite come to a close, and I'm sure I'll maybe buy a few more things here and there, trying to be good and not buy too much because I've got a lot of makeup already. There's a lot has been coming out this year. I feel like more and more makeup comes out and there's just like constant releases all the time. It's rare to find something that you really enjoy out of all the noise. And to have something that you constantly use is, you kind of know that it's something really special, like this lipstick that I constantly use. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.